In this video lecture, I will discuss two-dimensional array and how to declare and access individual elements of a 2D array and then processing of 2D arrays. So, how to declare a two-dimensional array? The syntax of declaring 2D array is similar to that of 1D array, but here we have two subscript. So, this is the syntax. We write data type and the name of the array, and then instead of writing one subscript, we are writing two subscripts. So the first subscript represent the row size and the second subscript represent the column size. So here row size specifies the number of rows and the column size specifies the number of columns in the array. And the total number of elements in the array is row size into column size. So this row size into column size is nothing but the total number of elements in the array. So for example, if this is the a 2D array and the data type is float and the name of the array is x and there are two subscripts, so this 3 is nothing but the row size and this 4 is the column size. So here this is a two-dimensional array and which can hold 12 elements because the total number of elements will be 3 into 4. Okay, and the starting element of this array will be x and 0 0 and the last element of this array will be 2 3. So why? Because 2D array, this is a 2D array with 3 rows and 4 columns. So the individual elements of the array can be accessed by applying two subscript, okay, where the first subscript denote the row number and the second subscript denote the column number. So the starting element of starting element of this 2D array will be 0 0 because if we have 3 rows, so the row will be 0 1 and 2, and if I have 4 columns, so the column number will be 0 1 2 and 3. So the first element will be 0 0 and the last element will be 2 3. Okay, so this example you can see we have 3 rows. So row 1 the subscript will be 0, row 2 the subscript will be 1 and row 3 the subscript will be 2. Same way we have 4 columns, so column 1 the subscript will be 0, column 2 it will be 1, column 3 it will be 2 and column 4 it will be 3. So this here we will be writing 0 0, then this will be 0 1, 0 2 and 0 3 and then 1 0, 1 1, 1 2 and then 1 3, 2 0, 2 1, 2 2 and 2 3. So this is how we declare and access the individual elements of a 2D array. Next we will see how to process 2D array. So for processing 2D array we use nested for loop. Okay, and here so nested for loop is used. Nested for loop is used here to process 2D array, and the outer for loop, in nested for loop we have outer loop and inner loop. So outer for loop correspond to the row and the inner for loop correspond to the column. Okay, so now for example, if we say we have an array that is of integer type and then the name of the array is A and we have 4 rows and 5 columns. Okay, so then how to read values in array? Okay, so we have 4 rows and 5 columns, so we have to use two for loop. So outer for loop is for row, that means the outer for loop the value will be from 0 to less than 4 and the inner for loop is for column, so the inner for loop it will be from 0 to less than 5. So nested for loop we will be writing the outer for loop, that is for row. So the loop variable I am taking here and value will be initialized once, and then this condition it depends the this row size. Okay, so it depends on the row size. So I less than 4 and I plus plus, and then we write inner for loop, that is for column, and the loop variable taken here is j. It will be from 0 to less than 5 because column number of columns are 5, and then j plus plus and Then we have to read the values in array. So we have to write scanf, and data type is D, so percentile D, ampersand A, I, comma, J. Okay. And when we have to display the values of array, displaying values of array, so same thing we'll be doing. We'll be writing two for loop. The outer for loop is for row and the inner for loop is for column. So 4 rows we have, so 0 to 4 will be writing, and 5 columns, so 0 to less than 5 will be writing. Okay, and then printf statement, and here percentile D, A, I, comma, J, and we'll close this curly bracket. So here now when I value is equal to 0. Okay, so for each iteration, how the nested for loop works, for each iteration of the outer for loop, inner loop will be executed completely. So now this outer for loop, how many times this will be executed? 0, 1, 2 and 3, because it is less than 4. So 4 times, and this inner for loop 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, because it is less than 5. So this will be executed 5 times. So for each iteration of the outer for loop, this inner for loop will be executed 5 times. Okay, so when I is equal to 0, the condition is true, 0 less than 4, we will enter inside the body of the loop. So this is body of the loop. So now J value is 0. So for I 0, J 0, J 1, J 2, J 3 and J 4. So 5 times this will be executed. So when J is equal to 0, condition is true, then this value A 0, 0 will be taken from the user, and then we will increment the value of J. J value will become 1. So now the next 0, 1 will be taken from the user, and then 0, 2 will be taken from the user, 0, 3 will be taken from the user, and 0, 4 will be taken from the user. And when J value becomes 5, the condition is false, and then we will come out of this inner for loop and we'll go and increase the value of I. Then I value will be 1. Same thing when I is equal to 1, J0, J1, J2, J3 and J4. So 5 times this loop will be executed. So next time which value will be taken from the user? 1 0, 1 1, 1 2, 1 3 and 1 4. And then when I value becomes 2, the value will be 2 0, 2 1, 2 2, 2 3, 2 4. When I value becomes 3, it will be 2 0, 3 0, 3 1, 3 2, 3 3 and 3 4. So like that. So this represents, all these values are first row values, and then when I is equal to 1 means row 2 values will be taken from the user. When I value is 2, the row 3 values will be taken from the user. When I value is equal to 3, the row 4th value is taken from the user. And same way while printing also, when I is equal to 0, J is equal to 0 means this A00 value will be printed, and then J1 means A01, J2 means 02, J3 means 03, J4 means 04. So these values will be printed. So we have to remember, when we have to process 2D array, so this first subscript is row size, second subscript is column size. So we need to take two for loop. The first subscript is for row, so the outer for loop we have to write for row, and this inner for loop we have to write for column. So that's how we process a two-dimensional array. Thank you.